Hi everybody, welcome to Own Your Story. Today I have a very special guest. Tom is a Medium top writer and he has done a lot of crazy things like organizing a virtual summit, traveling in Southeast Asia, and then featured in viral videos. First question, Tom, how would you tell your story in a 3 minutes commercial?
My story is a little complicated. I've gotten better at telling it over time, but it has three major parts. So I'll try to go through it 1 minute per part. So the first part is college graduation. That happened in May of 2015. I am 25 years old, so it's about 3 years since I graduated. So I had this part of my life where I graduated. I didn't know what I was going to do. I wanted to get a corporate job. And I basically went to dozens of interviews, applied for probably 100 or so jobs, probably more than that. And I just struck out. And I started to get on Upwork.com. I applied for tons of jobs that I didn't know if I was actually qualified for, like copywriting, writing blog posts, everything that you could think of, writing brochures, just all this sort of stuff. And I got a couple of jobs, and I started to build up my freelancing portfolio. People started to take some chances on me. I just kept on freelance writing for basically about 2 years. I stopped freelance writing entirely in October of 2017, which ends the second part of the journey. The third part is blogging full-time, making money from my blog. So in November of 2017, about 2.5 years after I graduated, I started a blogging course, and I started to get sales for that online course and make a full-time income relatively from that course. So ever since then, I have been living straight up by making money from my blog. Now there's a lot of caveats to that. While I was freelancing, I started blogging on the side. So that's how I was able to, start blogging full time later on.
Do you have a specific approach to writing? Because I blog on Medium as well. So sometimes I have this struggle, like, do I write everything that I care about, or do I have to consider what the audience want? How do you approach this?
When I write something, I always start from the heart. Like I always try to write like whatever is the biggest thing that's on my mind at that point in time, because that's what makes it fun. Writing about what you want makes it fun. And then after I write my first draft, I try to go back and I try to tweak the headline. I try to tweak the picture. I try to tweak basically the whole entire article in a way that makes more sense for people reading. I try to strike a balance. It's something that I've started to intuitively get as I've written more and more posts. I think over time, you just gradually start to understand like what people actually want to read, what does well, what doesn't do well, and then you can spot a good content idea from a mile away.
So when you write, do you have like a specific audience in your mind?
We're all human beings at the end of the day. When you're writing about life lessons or success or trying to be your best self, we can all relate to that. It doesn't matter if you're, 40 years old, 15 years old, you're older, it doesn't matter. But I also know that, when I write what I want to write, like my audience is sort of just a mirror of me, So I write for me and whoever is like me, not even age, not even gender, not even like beliefs, anything. If they're anything like me, they'll want to read that. And I know there's a lot of people like me out there. That I write for me, and then I attract the people that are like me by staying true to myself.
So basically, as content creators, we are all putting ourselves out there. Is there any critics that hurt you badly?
There was someone that commented on a story of mine that I wrote. So I talked about freelancing. I talked about how it was hard and how it was difficult. And this person basically commented below and was like, like you're not working hard enough. Like, you're just a whiny millennial who, isn't ready to put in the hours to really make their freelancing business succeed. And that wasn't really the point of the article. I was ready to put in the work. I just didn't want to have no control over creative expression. And I commented back to him. I said, in 1 year, I'm going to write a story and tag you in it from Bali, Indonesia. Because I talked about how I wanted to be a digital nomad. I got to Bali in June of 2018. So it took me 10 months. That just gave me so much just like fire to prove him wrong. Writing has been a big investment for me because taking time to literally sit down and write your thoughts makes you incredibly self-aware. And for you to constantly check in with yourself, every day or close to every day, and figure out where you stand, where your thoughts are, where you want to go, it is incredibly helpful. The biggest benefit of writing isn't growing followers or being financially independent or anything like that. I think that it's figuring yourself out, becoming more emotionally aware, emotionally intelligent, and it's helped me stay so mellow. Don't write for money, don't write for followers, write because it's going to make you incredibly self-aware. And that investment, it's been the biggest investment that I've made, but it's also been the most worthwhile by a long shot.
Yeah, so in your journey as a writer and a blogger, what's the biggest reward or like anything that makes you feel like it's worth it? Any moment like that?
From a financial standpoint was when I started my online course. And this is like my biggest success. So I I thought up the course. I, figured out how to put on webinars, made people got people to sign up for the webinar, and put on this huge presentation, pitched people my online course at the end, didn't know what was going to happen. Like, I was either going to get a couple sales, no sales, or a lot of sales. But I think I was like, I'm probably not going to get any sales because it's my first webinar. So like, I don't know if this is even going to work. Like, my back is up against the wall. This is my only plan. If this doesn't work, I don't know what's going to work. So I remember I put on that webinar. I had so much fun. We had about 25 people in there, and I sold. Awesome. It was cool. It was really cool. And I saw like one person comment. He was like, I bought your course, Tom. And I was like, oh, great. Thank you. And then I ended the webinar. I logged out, went to my email, and I saw 6 or 7 people sign up for my course. And at that point, I was like, yes. I was like, this worked. That moment was probably the most incredible one for me. And, it was like the one that was like, it was the payoff.
So besides the course, you also organized something really cool this year, which is the virtual summit. So what makes you put that up, and what are the challenges? Like, it's your first time, and I think everything went very smoothly.
Thank you. Yeah.
Do you have any like challenges like in putting that up? And how do you get like this amazing panel of people to talk to you?
Okay, so sure, challenges and then how to get them in there. So one of my biggest challenges was like, this is my first time doing it. Didn't know all the processes, didn't know how everything worked together. So I had to like kind of do overtime as far as that's concerned, to actually figure out everything. I think it was the biggest challenge for me was the planning. It was a huge logistical nightmare. It really was. It took me about 2 months of solid 40 hours per week work to do this, to put this on, from reaching out to guests, interviewing them, creating the videos, creating the website to host the videos, marketing the darn thing, and then following everything up. It was a huge, massive undertaking. So when you can just sit down for about a week or so and just plan it out logistically, like week 1, I'm going to get this done. Week 1, I'm going to reach out to people. Week 2, I'm going to interview some people. Week 3, I'm going to start to do that. Then you can start to understand a little bit more. So that will help. But as far as getting guests on, I literally just cold emailed like 100 people. Like, honestly, like I literally just emailed tons of people, hoped that they'd get back to me. One trick that I learned to get higher profile guests is when some guests are super awesome. Like, some guests, they'll take anything. They'll take any interview they can get, and they're okay with it. Even if it's not like a promise for a big payoff, they'll take it. And I told them that I had my own email list of 5,000 people, which helped, which definitely helped them to be like, all right, this is going to be worthwhile. People are going to see this. But I also told them that, like, as certain guests came on, high profile guests, I said, well, that guy's going to be there, or that woman is going to be there, and they're going to be featured. And then they were like, oh, okay, Chris Brogan's going to be there. He's a New York Times bestselling author. I know him. So they already thought that this, sort of event was up here to them, So as guests came on, I kept name dropping them in future emails. to my guests that I wanted to have on. But I find that people are more willing to agree than you think, you know, and once you get those first couple, then you can really start to name drop and grow from there. So that's how I got people to come on in a nutshell.
So what's the biggest lesson you learned from this summit? Or like the biggest reward from doing this?
What I didn't realize was when you put on a virtual summit, people are literally watching you for hours a day.
Yeah,
you know, like you drop, yeah, exactly. You drop like 6 interviews and then they amount to about 3-4 hours of content, and people are watching you, and they get to. It takes it way out from writing. It invites people in, and it shows you to people, you know, through a screen, but you can visualize who I am, which was nice, you know. So by the end of that virtual summit, I had some people that had watched 10+ hours of me talking. And it brought them so much closer to me. It was ridiculous.
So after like so many crazy adventures, like starting your own course and then doing the summit and then just doing what you love, what are your advices for smart and driven young graduates who are leaving college? And what advice do you think they should ignore? When
you're a recent graduate, you tend to think that you don't know anything. One thing that I would urge like everyone to sort of try to understand is like, you're not as inept as you think you are. And you know, we're all guessing. We're all just like, we're all trying to get our worth in some way. We all don't know what we're doing. So like, if you can sort of just come to terms with that and be okay with that, then I think that's going to give you so much more confidence to succeed. So just realize that we're all inept, basically. A big piece of advice to ignore, a lot of us still have our parents. A lot of us still have, you know, like safety nets for us. Take some chances. This is the time that you don't play it safe. You play it safe later. So right now, you know, go try it. Basically everything, if you can.
And in terms of writing and blogging, I know you have a course, but what are some bad advices or bad recommendations that you think are in the blogging scene right now?
I always think that people should write from their heart. And I also think that there's just a lot of things out there a lot of strategies out there that don't really matter. Like, put something out you believe in, and then trust that everything is going to work out later on. And if you do that, then I think you're honestly going to be fine. If you put your heart and soul into it, you're going to be fine. So focus less on the technical aspects of things, how your blog looks, how, you know, search engine optimization, navigation bars, things like that. And focus more on like actually being excited about what you're putting out there, because when you put your heart and soul into it, people will share it.
So between now and then, like when you leave college and now, how has your purpose and passion evolved? Do you have a process of figuring that out?
Your passions, like, they change so much. Like, what I was passionate about 3 years ago was getting a job after college in marketing. And then I changed, and I was passionate about freelancing, and I wanted to figure out how to get more clients and how to be better and how to become a better writer. And then that passion changed, and I wanted to, you know, get more into blogging. So I think your passions always sort of change. I think that's inevitable. And I think that like, there's no real way to be like, to pinpoint your passions, you know, be like, all right, that's the one. Because it's always changing. It's like a moving target. All you can basically do is just do what feels right at that point in time. Start a side hustle, like do something that you love on the side. And then maybe like in a six months time, you won't like that as much, but you'll like something that's related to that more. And only by pursuing that at that time can you get closer to the thing that you actually want. So for me, that was freelancing. But I thought I wanted to freelance, but what I really wanted was freedom. And I got like that freedom of my schedule in freelancing. And I thought that's what I wanted. But then when I looked a little bit deeper and I got into it more, I was like, I actually want freedom of expression, freedom of creativity. So then I got into blogging, and I was like, okay, this is where I want to be. And then I got into video, and it's so funny because I used to make videos when I was a kid. I used to make videos when I was like 11, 12, picked up my parents' video cameras, and I actually went to school for film for one semester. Not many people know that. And I always thought that film would be my sort of future. And then I forgot about it for years, and now I'm picking it back up again. So you could say that that is my passion right there, is filmmaking. And I got back to it by following what felt right in my heart at the time.
All right. So at this point of time, what's next for you?
YouTube, big time. I want to keep, making videos on YouTube. I really want to become a video creator. I want to reinvent myself as far as that is concerned. But for now, I'm blogging. I'll never give up writing. I love writing. Writing centers me. And I think that perhaps in the future I will start to journal more than write, and then blog.
So I see you as a content creator, like writing or video is just a medium. So in all of your content creations, what is the impact that you want to make by creating?
I want to make the world less scared of everyone else. I want to push people to travel more. I want to push people to, or hopefully inspire people, not push them, but inspire them to give other people a chance. And I want to sort of get rid of a lot of the sort of things that we think about a certain country. I think the main thing that I want to get into with my videos is showing people that the world is actually a fantastic place. For the most part, there's not much to be scared of. We have to give people more of a chance. And that's what my message is. And I hope that in the coming years that I do that accurately, and I do that on a broad scale, and that I can, hopefully get people to travel more.
That's beautiful. So we will come to the last questions. So what's the one truth or principle that you live by?
Try to be as honest as possible whenever you can be, because there's just not a lot of it out there. There's not a lot of realness online. You see, Instagram pictures that are beautiful, and you see, which is great, and you see people putting out their best selves, which is great. But it's like, please show that other side to me, please show when you're angry, show me your emotions, be really honest with me about what you're feeling. And I think that we live in a world that's really scared of being honest. And I try to do that in all my articles. I try to do that in my videos.
Yeah, I agree with that, because I wrote about owning my story, because I find that when we own our story, be real, be vulnerable, all our weaknesses, all our struggle becomes our strength in that moment when you own your story.
Yeah.
So before we end this interview, where can our audience find you or connect with you?
Okay, so you can go head over to my blog, findingtom.com. I would say go try to find me on YouTube and stuff, but if you go to findingtom.com and you go to the About page, you'll find links to everything there. So you'll be able to find me on YouTube, Twitter, Medium, Facebook, all that sort of stuff. So just go to my blog. That would probably be the best place to go, and you'll be able to catch me everywhere that you want.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you for having me. It was an honor. And, I hopefully I can definitely meet you when I'm in KL someday.
Hopefully soon. And I look forward to reading more of your work, watching more of your videos in the future, and all the best in your future adventures.
Thank you.